Gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream. Are you a dream or reality? We are all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us for the moment we call now. Rise up, join in, raise the whole vibration.
Hello, hello. It's Thursday. You're at the Livestream of Consciousness. I'm excited. I'm excited to be here. I'm always excited to be here. It's March 6th. I'm looking at the date. I just want to set this up, right? So for people who are just finding the Livestream of Consciousness, what is it? It's a moment of intention to focus on the now and have a great discussion with another puzzle piece, right? We all hold a piece of the puzzle. So it's like a place to get together and everybody put their puzzle piece on the table so we can put the puzzle together and look at it and figure it all out. And that's what the live stream of consciousness is all about. So I'm excited to be here. I've been doing this for a while and it seems to keep propelling me forward to continue to meet and talk to new people and introduce my audience to new people. So what is happening, Angela? What's happening? She sounds very interesting. Oh, my guest is very interesting. They usually are. I find the best people. What's up, Arnie Layton? Good to see you. Tim Lorenz, how you doing? Good to see you. And Ninja Kitty, always out there. Good to see you as well. Wonderful to have a family sitting at the table ready to go and have a great conversation. So I'm excited tonight. My guest is part of this soul care conference that we've been talking about. I'm going to have to, I didn't prepare the graphic for it. I'm going to have to bring it up at the end, but we will talk about it again. But this soul care conference is an amazing event with some amazing speakers, and I've been featuring the speakers here on the show to kind of give everybody a little taste of what they're about and maybe entice them to come to the event and also get to know them a little bit. So I'm excited for tonight's conversation. Tonight's guest is an intuitive breakthrough expert. Now, I love that because I think intuition and spirituality has kind of been separate from science and the mainstream. And I love that people are combining spiritual practices and spiritual philosophies with medical practices and therapy practices. It's always seemed to me to kind of have the same flavor, right? When you're doing spiritual exercises, you're usually trying to find some trauma and release it and heal, right? Healing is the same thing as therapy. So I believe there's a connection between all of it. So I try to present it without all of the woo-woo. Sometimes my guests have woo, sometimes they don't. I think tonight's guest is a good balance of both. So I'm super excited. Oh, and I see Empowered Path out there. Speaking of the Soul Care Conference, what is up, Diane? Good to see you. Excited about the Soul Care Conference. All right, so it is actually 9:04. Usually at 9:03, I realize I'm babbling and I bring my guest on. So I'm overdue to bring my guest on for tonight. Welcome to the live stream of consciousness, Nanci Deutsch. How are you doing, Nanci?
I'm really glad to be here. Thank you, Michael.
I'm excited that you're here as well. We actually met at one of these Empowered Path Expos.
Yes.
A few months back, and I said, "Oh, I've got to have you on my show." And then we met again in the committee for this Soul Care Conference, which is pretty cool. I'm really excited about. I'm excited for the opportunity to surround myself with like-minded people. I love all of the modalities, right? All of the metaphysical modalities and all of the holistic things, and just critical thinking things, I mean, I like these things that just allow you to kind of just go deeper into yourself. So I'm excited about that. But I've got to take care of some business here first with you. And that is ask you the prerequisite question for the live stream of consciousness. And that is, what is consciousness, Nanci? What are we talking about when we say consciousness?
To me, consciousness is the energy of really who we are. It's the core energy essence. I call it soul.
Mhm.
And I feel like our consciousness is that light and the love and the characteristics of who we really are.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And consciousness is my soul connecting with your soul and all of us together. Consciousness is, I feel like the universe, we're all one and we're really connected. Hello. Thanks. Hey, hi there.
Yeah, yeah. Everyone's saying hello.
Harmony, I love it. The community is here. And thank you. I love seeing the community, and I want to thank you, all of you, the new ones that I may be meeting.
That's awesome, and I love that definition. I believe I agree with you. The reason I love that question so much is because there's no wrong answer.
Right.
I think everything is a part of consciousness, and I like that. Basically, you were kind of describing the essence. Your essence is your consciousness, right? And everybody's got their own unique essence and their unique part of consciousness. I love it, and community love, empowered path is
Community love. Yay, Diane.
awesome.
And
So
I'm looking forward to the Soul Care Conference too. So
yes,
join
I'm
us, everybody.
going to bring up the graphic. We're going to talk about the date, and we're going to invite everyone down personally. I know you sent me a bunch of links of some personal kind of offers that you're going to make on the show, which I really appreciate. The audience really appreciates that kind of stuff also. So we're going to get to that. But I want to kind of get into what brought you to become who you are, right? And so my question I like to ask my guests, because I know that they're kind of connected, and I know that they believe that there's more to existence in the 3D, right? So the question is, do you have a memory or a story that you can share of that moment that you realize, like, wait a second, there's more to it than just the 3D?
Okay. So for me, I had a lot of trauma growing up, a lot of trauma as a child. And by the time I was 10 years old, I felt and I knew and I sensed that there was something so much more than the third dimensional reality. I needed that.
Mhm.
And so at that time, and this ages me, but I don't care. It is my truth, my story.
Yeah.
At that time, it was called the occult. And it was in now they call it new age and everything, but I would go to the bookstores and go to the occult section, and
Wow.
I would get, like, I actually would order books about ghosts and all kinds of things, ESP, all kinds of things from. Do you remember the book club, the scholarship, or I don't know,
Scholastic. Yeah. Yes.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. So I would get the books, anyway, all the cool things, anything that I could think of that was.
Wow. You're right. I do remember like ESP, right? That was considered like the occult. That was
Yeah,
considered, it wasn't really, it was like, it was,
it was woo. It was
yeah,
way out
it
there.
was woo woo, and wasn't considered like valid, right? It was like,
Right. Even though they were researching and studying it,
Mhm.
but that was always behind the scenes. That wasn't really what the general public knew.
Right.
So and I really believe in my heart of hearts that if it wasn't for my spirituality and my belief in anything other than the 3D, I don't know if I'd be here, because I needed that hope. I needed to know that there was something beyond, and my spirituality has always been what has kept me through in the darkest times of my life, when, like, when you have a lot of trauma, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that have that trauma. You go through the ups and the downs and the despair, and you need to have that hope. And I think there's a lot of people that need hope, and I just want people to know there's something beyond, and that it's making the deeper connection to who we are, our true consciousness, that really brings forth that hope when we're feeling so hopeless.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to me. A lot of very, very spiritual people have these stories, right, of coming from trauma, and I've heard it expressed that way, that almost like it's a place that you had to go, right, in your mind to escape what was going on physically around you, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I've heard that story, and I mean, I don't want to say I love it. I don't love what the reason for it, right? But I love the idea that even at that age, like instinctively you knew to go inside, right? You weren't running and looking for help outside. You just instinctively went to a place that felt safe for you, and you created that, right? And I think that's where a lot of power comes from. And then later in life, now you're tapping into that power, and you're helping other people, with that, which I think is amazing. And I think, like I said, intuitive breakthrough expert, I think that's such a great title, because I think there are so many ways to break through the shells that have been built up, you know what I mean, that kind of cover up what's inside, all of that stuff that we're talking about. So okay, so from a young age you connected to this through trauma, and then so now how are you able to bring that back to your profession now? So you're an intuitive business coach, right, as well as that's part of what you do. So how did you bring that back to what you do now?
So what happened when I was growing up, I couldn't make decisions. I was very indecisive, and I would always be asking my mom, or as I grew older, my friends, what should I do to make a decision? And what started happening as I continued my personal and spiritual growth, what started happening was I started tuning into my intuition. Listen, I could hear that voice inside of me, and I'm very grateful that I have all the intuitive gifts, because I can hear, I feel, I sense, I know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's through that intuition I really discovered to be able to make the best decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then what started happening was I started taking, and from a young age, I wanted to help people. I knew that I wanted to help people. And so I was really divinely guided to go into, my major in college was psychology. And then I was divinely guided into getting my master's in social work.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started my own practice, and I started taking my clients through the process that I was doing myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started speaking about it, which it's called the Intuition Advantage System. And it's a system, a 7-step process that helps someone go from feeling indecisive or not sure what you want to do or what decision to make, to be able to get the clarity that you need to make that decision and then move forward in a very committed way on your path.
Gotcha. Okay, interesting, because I'm glad I let you speak, because I was going to stop you and say, okay, but what was it that allowed you to go from I can't make a decision to I made the best decision that I can make? And then you now explain that that's this intuition advantage system, that this is something that you created.
Yes, it's something I developed. It's downloaded from Spirit. I'm always using my creative process to bring together all kinds of information, and And what I love like about my system and my work is you said it in the beginning, is that I'm balanced because I come from a psychological perspective, because I've been a licensed clinical social worker for over 30 years. And I've been a holistic psychotherapist, but I come from that psychological background, and I've been an intuitive and spiritual, and I could go real woo woo, but I also walk the line as a licensed clinician. And that's why I love working with other licensed practitioners, because I understand the world that we live in. We have to walk, you walk the conventional and the unconventional, and being able to bring it all together.
So are there a lot of people that you work with on the like conventional side that really kind of underneath it all have unconventional?
No, not anymore. My clients now are holistic, and they know they're holistic. They may be doing something in the world that's not holistic, and they're wanting to move more into the holistic field. And that's what I do, is to help women grow their business and help them grow an intuitive, holistic business. So they're using their intuition, growing their business, and creating more income and following their soul's path.
Interesting. Okay, so now here's an interesting question in the chat. Angelo, I don't know if you've met Angelo. He's a regular in my audience.
Hello, Angelo.
He's been kind of on a spiritual journey, and he also has the intuition, right? He has intuition. So he's kind of reading you, and he says her dreams come true, very powerful, very lucid. And I feel like that's kind of what you just described, like this whole intuitive intuition advantage system. It came to you like in a dream, right? Almost like,
well, actually, it's more, usually what happens for me is I'm getting it either in meditation or in the quiet moments. I like to just sit. I can spend hours just sitting and kind of connecting to spirit and listening and allowing the information. Talk about live stream of consciousness. I allow the consciousness to flow, but I amuse myself. I have a great time. So, I don't need the dream state. I just allow it. I feel very grateful because I have that ability of walking between the dimensions. Hey, hi, Janice, the quiet healer. I love it.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me more about the advantage system and how it works. Or I mean, I guess you don't want to give away the secrets, right? You want people to come to you to learn that. But I'm curious because, like I said, you were saying I can't make a decision, and that, I think that's very relatable. I think a lot of people can relate to that right away. That's a very easy thing to relate to, and tips on how to be able to center yourself, whether they be holistic or psychological, right? They're all helpful.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I interrupted you.
So I like to talk about, as part of my system, I'm going to give there's 7 C's, and I'm going to give 3 of the 7.
Okay. A little teaser, so to speak. Okay, good.
Yeah. All right. So, and by the way, just to let people know, I'm also speaking at the Soul Care Conference on activating your intuition for confidence and success. So you can also hear me more talk about intuition. And I'm always talking about it. So definitely there's lots of ways to hear me talk about intuition.
Cool.
So the first C that's really important is being able to clear and to find a way to clear your energy. And that is when you're in an emotional, when you feel angry or scared, you have a lot of fear coming up, or you're feeling frustrated, angry, or Even grief actually blocks your loved ones and you from being able to communicate. But when but here's the thing. We need to process through the feelings and let the feelings flow. And then when you allow your energy to clear, to move through your feelings, I do a lot of somatic work where I help clients connect to the body and connect to their bodies, and being able to move through, connect with the sensations in the body, and then be able to feel the feelings. So what happens is really finding the way to clear your energy. And I saw Angela says centering your energy. Yes, exactly. It's finding a way to quiet your mind, because the bottom line is, and I was just talking about this on my show. I have a show too, but we'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
But when you have the thinking mind, the mind chatter, and the mind is going. And you're either in the past, if you're feeling depressed or frustrated, or you're in the future with worries and anxiety. And that is not the present. It's learning how to come into present time, to center yourself and quiet yourself through some type of clearing. And also the other thing is if you are really attached to an outcome and you really want a certain answer and the ego's like, I want it this way, you will need to do the clearing to let go of the attachment, because your intuition won't come through. It'll be skewed towards your ego's wants and not the intuitive place.
Right.
Clearing, I talk about daily clearing and deeper clearing.
Okay.
And the clearing, I like to envision it like this. Imagine that you are a pipeline to and from the divine. And the limiting beliefs and emotions are big hairballs in your pipeline.
Okay.
And you need to clear the pipeline. Some clients has called me spiritual Drano, because I'm a clog clearer. Clear the pipeline. That's one of my gifts.
Nice.
And it's being able to clear the energy so that you can allow, because consciousness wants to come through. That intuition wants to be heard or felt or seen or known. And the intuition is because I want to, define my version. Intuition for me is information beyond the physical five senses. And it's God or the universe's gift to us to navigate our earthly life.
I love that.
So there's the clearing, and then we have connecting. And connecting is the way that I look at connecting is we have that part of us, our higher self. And the way I define your higher self is that wise, unconditionally loving part of you. I believe our higher self is our future enlightened self. That is unique and special to us. And our soul is the vast consciousness that we are, that light and love and the characteristics that I was talking. And our soul has had many lifetimes. And our higher self is us in this lifetime, but in our future. So learning to connect with both of these aspects. When I take my clients through the system, for example, Emily she came into, at that point, this was a time when I had a physical office space. Now I'm all virtual, but she came to my office and she was feeling really angry and frustrated and upset because she didn't know if she should stay or go at the part-time job. She was really upset with it and frustrated. And so I helped her clear her energy.
Mhm.
And then we had her connect with her higher self.
Mhm.
And she got the decision that it was for her highest good to leave the part-time job and that she would be okay. And
Mhm.
she ended up leaving the job, and she's been doing fine.
Mhm. Mhm.
She's doing better because she doesn't have the part-time job to
Right.
upset.
Right.
So that's an example of how our higher self can help us.
Sure.
And then the last one is the third C that I'm talking about tonight is communication. And
Right.
communication is the messages that are coming through.
Mhm.
So you can see them or feel them or hear them.
Mhm.
Each one of us has our own unique intuitive gifts.
Mhm.
And it's about learning how spirit is speaking to you.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And you're going to love this. I know, because I know you see them all the time.
What is it?
License plates,
Oh yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I was gonna say. I was thinking as you were talking. I was thinking synchronicities in general.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Communication. The
Yeah.
communication happens in many ways. It comes through the intuition, and sometimes it comes through actual physical signs outside of you, like when you really need that support or help or whatever. So
Angela
777. Yeah, exactly. Angela, miracles.
Yeah, there you go. Totally. So you know what? You brought up something in my head that I'm gonna
Go for it.
I'm gonna talk to you about, just because I love these conversations, and this is what I've been thinking and trying to wrap my head around. Is this idea of higher self, this idea of spirit guides, this idea of past, future, present, not really being different, all existing at the same time, right?
Yeah.
The idea of consciousness being one, and we're all a part of that, right? So all of those things resonate very strongly with me, but I'm, as a human being and limited in language, I have a hard time really kind of understanding it, right? I feel it and I know it, but I have a hard time understanding it. And then when people talk about, oh, I have a spirit guide. Michael, Archangel Michael is my spirit guide. For me, and this is just me and my interpretation of it, that is a higher aspect of that person that they're connecting with in the form of Archangel Michael or whatever.
That's interesting that you look at it that way. I guess I defined it a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm.
So, first of all, in some ways you're correct, because everything's one. We're all one.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I also believe, and this is something that I do, especially through hypnosis, is take people on soul adventures and connect with their spirit guides, connect with their higher self. And I believe that we all have soul contracts. So we have certain guides. I mean, you can call on guides like Archangel Michael or Jesus or Mary, or
Right.
I mean, they're there for everybody, know. But there are certain guides that are actually assigned to you.
Okay.
And I don't believe that they're like, we are all different sparks of that divine consciousness, and we're unique unto ourselves. And so these guides are unique unto themselves also.
Sure, that makes sense. Yeah. No.
And yet, if you see it as a whole, then we're all connected. So your version of what you said applies too.
Yeah.
And so our spirit guides are beings that have had the soul contracts with us before we even came in. And so we have spirit guides that we haven't met in this life. We have spirit guides that we have, like deceased loved ones and friends and family. And then there are spirit guides that you haven't met in this life, but on the soul level. And then your higher self, you can call it a spirit guide, because I sometimes, when I do hypnosis, I'll bring in higher self as a guide, because it is your guide. But it's what makes it different and unique is that it's yours. It's a
Right.
part of
An
you.
aspect of you. Yeah.
Right. Which is, to me, is really powerful, connecting with you at a higher level,
For sure.
at a higher vibrational level.
Yeah.
So that's how I would. And then, of course, we can't forget the angels. I love the angel realm. So I love it all. I love spirit. So it's all good.
So talk about your connection with the angel realm. What's your connection with the angel realm?
Oh my God, I love the angels. What's my connect? I just, Archangel Michael. He's my buddy. I mean, and then there are other angels. I mean, I feel very connected with a lot of the angels, and I just feel, and then when I'm doing work with clients, spirit comes to me, and like a lot of times Archangel Michael or even Mother Mary or Jesus comes and to work with clients that, like, and I don't necessarily know if the client is connected. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. But what's most important is they come in, like a lot of times I'll work with a client and their guardian angel comes in. Oh, and then I have another part of consciousness that's really cool. Sometimes I'm working with a client and the fairies come in.
Fairies, the fairy realm.
Yes. Oh, I have a blast when I'm doing work with clients.
See, and this is something that I've only really encountered in the last few years, right? The idea of the fairy realm, right? But for me, this is interesting, Nancy, and we may have spoken about this personally. I had a download. I only had one experience in my life fairly recently that I would call a download, right? I mean, I've been here. I heard people talk about it. I heard people talk about all sorts of different ways of connecting and getting information and all of this stuff, right? And I know a ton of psychic mediums, so I know that I definitely have been around these energetic exchanges and connections, and I felt them. I'm empathic, right? So I sense them happening. Yes, but this download that I had was basically just all of a sudden I understood that reality was in the mind. Reality is in the realm of thought. It's not, reality is not a physical
consciousness
realm. It's consciousness, right? Exactly. And I think that just tied everything together for me, which it was like that before, but it was like afterwards it was kind of like, oh, now I know, now I get it, right? Even though I'm still wrapped up in this 3D constraint of language and really kind of understanding it and being able to express it. So more than anything, it's a feeling, right, in my heart and in my being, which is why I'm here with you right now. But all right, so I don't know how I got derailed, but let's talk about your connection with intuition and how you use intuition to help people, because all of the things you're talking about, I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. I want one of those. Let me talk to my higher self on an aspect of myself. I would love that. So yeah, so I guess what I'm saying is, talk to me about your connection with intuition and how you use it. How can intuition help somebody understand? Oh, now I know how to make decisions. I mean, I know the answer, but I want to hear.
Okay, so what happens is when you start connecting with your intuition and you really you're doing the clearing, you're connecting more deeply to who you are. Mm-hmm. And those higher aspects are giving you the information, the communication. Mm-hmm. And because I really believe that life flows a lot more smoothly. You're in the flow and things happen synchronistically when you're following your intuition. And when you try to not follow it, or when you don't follow it, and then you're like, boom, I should have followed it. And so it's really living life from that intuitive place, moment by moment. And here's the thing, like, we're all human. We're going to have our ups and we're going to have our downs. So the biggest thing is doing that clearing work. I mean, a lot of what I do with clients is helping them to clear the energy, clear the blocks, the clogs in their pipeline,
Sure.
so that
Sure.
they tune in to make the decision of what they need to in their life or in their business to come from that higher perspective,
Right.
which is going to streamline things and help them and support them in being able to do and move where they want to.
Right, sure. And I think you were talking about it earlier, and I heard it a little bit different. Stephen Durante was one of my mentors in meditation, and you were talking about the chatter, right? Just like it's just this constant chatter. And so I've heard it, we've talked about it as the hamster wheel, right?
The
Like,
hamster wheel.
you wake up, you get on the hamster wheel, and you're just like, okay, I got to get through my day. I just got to get through my day. I just got to get through my day. I just got to get through my day. You know what I mean? And you're just trying to get through your day till you can lay your head on your pillow and be like, all right, and then just wake up the next day just to do it again. And I agree. I think clearing your energy, centering yourself, grounding yourself, away from all of this energy that's attached to the daily grind, that hamster wheel that I think it's interesting, and I've mentioned it many times recently on my show, is Bashar, the guy, I'm sure you're familiar with Bashar, right?
I heard of he's
Okay.
a channel, right?
So Bashar is a channel, right? And he's like a trans channel, so it's a little, he's not, I guess I guess I just assume everybody knows who he is, but
I've heard of him, but I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
really know his work.
His message is very, very straightforward, and that is just like, go with your highest passion, right? Like, do what makes you feel good, and that's being in the flow. Just kind of what you were
Yes.
talking about, right? Like,
Yes.
just go with your intuition, right?
Yeah.
Go with what you know is right. And I think, like you said, also, we're all human, and it's difficult because we're in a society where we have certain responsibilities as we get older to pay rent and to do all of these things that are part of that hamster wheel, right? And part of what keeps us there. And I think for me, so like I'm a musician, and it wasn't until I was, in my 40s or later that I realized, wow, in my 20s, I was able to get into a flow state. I was able to play music with my friends, and that thing that I was feeling that I could remember in my head was flow, was being in the moment, letting go of everything.
The
Absolutely.
creative flow.
Absolutely. And I think, man, oh man, I wish we could all just do that more. And Janice has a self-care seminar that she gives, because we just need to be reminded, like, hold on a second, take a minute, relax, everything is going to be all right. Bob Marley, everything going to be all right. And I think that's a part of, it's interesting because I guess I'm saying that out loud because I feel like that's a part of your system, is to kind of give all of that some power, give all of that, it's due diligence, right?
Yeah, and when I talk about clearing, I really feel like there's two levels of it. I feel like we need to do the daily clearing, the meditation or the prayer, the spiritual. I like to say, start your day in a spiritual way, or finding that to get yourself on that higher vibration as much as you can. And then there's the deeper clearing, because if there's things that you want to manifest, things that you're working on moving towards, what happens is that if you don't do the clearing of the limiting beliefs or the emotions, you're not going to be able to manifest it. And so both of those clearing processes are so important. And that's my psychological.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like I said, I'm super guilty, right? Like I know, as spiritual as I am, and as much as I know these things and how they're based in thought, and your thought and your mindset is really going to create your reality, I've still got some limiting beliefs that I'm trying to deal with, and I am. No,
Michael,
you know what?
Human.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello,
Yeah.
Michael. Join me. You're part of the human. Listen,
That's right. That's right.
What, you think I've gotten over all my limiting beliefs? No.
No.
I mean, here's the thing. Whenever and I really believe consciousness as a being, we're going in a spiral direction upwards. And that when we're ready to take a jump to the next level, our stuff is going to come up. Those limiting beliefs, like to get to that next level, you're going to need to clear them. So please don't be hard on yourself, Michael.
No, you know what, and I'm not. I
just want to make sure.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I was the next thing I was going to say is I would love to talk about a soul adventure. It sounds like an awesome thing to do.
Oh, it's so much fun. I love my soul adventures.
Tell us about a soul adventure and how can I do one?
So a soul adventure I found out that you can visit the soul realm without dying. And it touched my heart so deeply. I was walking on the beach and all of a sudden I just started crying because I was like, oh my God, I don't have to die. I can go in a hypnotic trance and visit and connect. And so I became a hypnotherapist. And shortly after, I got the download about soul adventures. And soul adventures is about, it's taking an adventure in the hypnotic trance. So depending on what your soul and your spirit guides want you to experience. So I've taken people to past lives, to clear other stuff, or to go, like I do past life groups where I do past life regression groups. I just had one a week or so ago. It was great. It was so much fun. And then I'm going to be doing a future progression where I take people into the future and connect with their future, what's going to happen with them in this lifetime, in their future, and a future lifetime.
Wow, I haven't heard of that one. That's interesting.
And then I take people to their Akashic records. Now, their Akashic records, for those people who don't know what an Akashic record is, there is a storehouse of records where all of consciousness is recorded. And each of us as a soul has our own book. And what I do, and I'm taking somebody to their Akashic records, they usually have 10 questions that they want to ask. And I ask the questions and they read their own book. And then I'm there to support them and I'll get into it if it hits, or I'll have them talk to their spirit guides. But it's such a powerful, I mean, I've watched such transformation happen when I take people to their records. Any of that, because each one has its own benefits and yeah, it's, and
is that done under like a hypnosis session? It's like
it's all hypnosis. I that's to me like I do hypnosis to help people clear their stuff, to clear those limiting beliefs they may not be in conscious, and you want to clear the energy at cause. At the cause of what's going on.
Right.
And that's why hypnosis is so powerful. But I love using hypnosis to do spiritual soul adventures.
Yeah.
So that's so much fun for me.
Yeah, no, I love that too. And I've always been fascinated with, astral traveling and the idea of, again, it's all the same thing. It's just the idea of being able to kind of tune into that frequency so
Yeah.
that you're not now in a physical form, and you're able to, I don't want to even use the word travel, but you're not in a physical form, right? So
You're in your mind,
you're
consciousness. You're
right.
in consciousness.
Exactly. It's infinite. You can, anything is possible. Anything is
Yeah.
possible. I
Yeah.
love that. That's amazing.
Oh, it's so, and I mean, I just watch it. It's so rewarding to watch the transformation that happens during a soul adventure. Very powerful work.
I definitely want to talk to you about it. I'm going to pop up your URL here at the bottom, for people who might be interested in a soul adventure or a hypnosis session. And let's see, what else do you have here? You had given me a bunch of questions. I think we talked about a lot of the stuff that
Yeah.
you
I have a couple of things coming up that I'd like to share.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about that. And while you do that, I'm going to also get the
Soul
Soul
care
Care
classes.
graphic up.
Okay. So first I have a gift for anybody who would like it. It's my intuitive decision making meditation, and it's using the clearing, the connecting, and the communication. You're connecting to your higher self, and that meditation is something that I really want to help people make those better decisions. So the
I'm going to
link
put the
that
links. Yeah, I'm going to put the links up on the screen and in the chat as well. Here's
So
one.
my brand is also Inspired and Empowered Living. And so it's inspired and empowered living.com/meditation.
There we go.
Yeah.
So you've got a workshop.
Yeah. Okay. So
And you've got
that's
a
my
meditation.
next thing that I'm going to work. Okay.
Yeah.
The workshop is all about, I have it, it's going to be on March 18th, 19th, and 20th. It's a free virtual workshop for women, coaches, therapists, nurses, healers, holistic professionals. And it's about freedom and fulfillment, 3 steps to grow your thriving holistic business. And during the workshop, we're going to talk about client attracting strategies. We're going to talk about how to break free from those limiting beliefs. We're going to go deeper into everything that I said. Well, not everything, but these specific things, and learn how to confidently monetize your unique gifts. So that workshop is really going to go deeper into all of that to really help women to learn how to grow their own business. This is something that's new for me, where I am loving helping women to really grow a business where they're following their soul, they're following their intuition, they're making more money, and they're growing and expanding. And it's amazing. One of my clients, Dee, is an RN, a Reiki master,
Yep.
and a Restore Yoga, and she didn't feel confident. She was searching, and she really didn't know how to grow her business in an authentic way.
Mhm.
And so I took her through the Intuition Business Advantage system. And what happened was she really started being able to move through things, and she developed her program called Burnout is Real, from our work together. And now she's taking professionals who are burnt out through the system, and her business is growing. And I mean, it just gives me so much joy to watch.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So
I can imagine. And that again, I think, and I'm just responding to everything you're saying, right? And everything we've talked about. I think that also is relatable, right? Burnout is real. Like, it's a relatable concept that I think that people will be like, "Ooh, I can benefit from this." You know what I mean? So those are great marketing strategies or components that you've put together there. And I
Well,
think
Burnout is Real is her program.
right.
Yeah. So, and then it's coming from her story. See,
Right.
here's the thing. We all have a story. And really what we do is we grow our business, or what we're here to do, our destiny is coming from our life experience.
That's right. I totally believe that, and I believe that that's what's pushing me along in my path. Now, my next question was going to be: is this only for women? Is this something that you and I can talk about? Can you help me figure out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing here with my gifts?
Well, here's the thing. The program that I do, this workshop is for women,
Mhm.
but I love working with men, and I love helping spiritual men really move forward on their destiny.
Yeah.
So I would be happy to talk to you more, Michael,
Awesome.
about how to
Awesome.
support you further.
Yeah, no, I mean, and we have talked about it a little bit, and I think that this is a big part of it, right? I think bringing a community together is important, and I think I've been able to do that. I'm so thankful for everybody who's out there listening all the time and contributing. And I think my idea is actually even to make it more interactive. And I was actually thinking about this today. Tell me what you think about this. And
Okay.
I think that in the past I've tried it and it didn't work out because I don't think people were really brave enough. But with this technology right here that we're talking on, I can literally put a link up at the bottom of the screen and people can just click on it and come in, and they can come join us and like ask a question or like kind of be a part of the moment with us, and almost like an old time call-in show, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
like, so I was thinking of kind of trying to add an element of the show to that.
I love the idea. I have thought about doing that kind of thing as well. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, because like I said at the beginning, I really feel like we all have a piece of the puzzle. You know what I mean? And you were saying that too. We all have a special gift. We all have something to offer to other people, right? Not everybody is going to get, what you're offering, but there are always people that will get what you're offering. So being yourself is so critical. So
Authentic, being
yeah.
authentic. And what I really believe, and I feel this so strongly, is that we have soul contracts with the souls we're meant to help.
Mhm.
And so that's part of what happens on a soul adventure, is gaining more understanding about your soul contracts and your soul
Right.
lessons and all of that. And so you have the souls that you're meant to connect with, and I have the souls I am, and
Right.
that's how we're going to change the world. I mean,
Exactly.
if you think about it, there are a lot of us who are on a lot of light workers. Okay,
Mhm.
we it's the same information, but we're all saying it in our own unique way.
That's right.
Because one person is attracted to you and another person attracted to me, and
That's right.
it's really about being able to the puzzle pieces, bring it all together to create the change that we are seeking in this world.
Exactly. Totally right. Arnie says virtual live. I think he likes the idea. Yeah, I'm gonna toy with that. I think I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna start maybe even announcing it like, hey, if you want to come on live, get ready. Like I think psychologically people have to be ready, right? Because
you have to be ready. You have to be willing to be seen and heard.
Right. So when you're watching the live stream of consciousness, make sure you're dressed, you've got your makeup, you got your hair done, you got your makeup done, and be ready to come on live and share in the energy. It's all an energetic exchange, and that's what I love about being aware, right, of it, right? So when you're aware that it's an energetic exchange, then you can bring whatever energy you want, and you can be very intentional about that energy that you're bringing.
Yes.
And I think I love that that whole idea. You're so much fun to talk to, Nanci.
I had a blast. Remember, before the show, I was like, "Oh, I'm tired," but I'm not tired anymore.
There you go. You got charged up. I love that energetic exchange. There you go.
Exactly. That's what happens. it's the synergy of when two souls that are meant to connect,
That's it.
and the synergy that happens. And I love it. It's so
Totally.
cool.
I love it too. All right. So I'm going to just bring up the holistic banner here. And this is for April 27th here on Long Island. I know that this show is going out all around the world. But if you are on Long Island and you're kind of into this thing, I've been calling it a spiritual sampler, right? Because you've got a sound healer, you've got a light language happening, you've got Nanci with her intuition system, you've got you were talking about what's her name, Dee.
And yeah.
It's going to be so great. And I'm just super excited for that day, and I'm so excited for all the people that are involved. So you guys are invited. Also, thank you, Nanci, for those amazing offers that are scrolling at the bottom of the screen right now. For anybody who's listening and watching, those are very generous offers. I definitely appreciate that. Do you have any parting words from my audience before I put you back in the green room and say goodnight to everybody?
No, I just want to thank you so much, Michael, for having me. This has been so much fun, and I love consciousness and spirit, and it's so much fun to talk about, and it just flows through me. And I just really want all of you to know that you are this amazing being, this soul of light and love that's here to radiate and shine your light and shine your love, and follow your intuition so that you're moving towards your path, your destiny, to make a difference in the people, the souls you're meant to connect with. You're meant to change their lives. And I look forward to connecting with you somehow, some way. So
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to put you in the green room. Don't go away, because I want to talk to you before I say goodnight. But let me say goodnight to the audience, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here.
Okay.
Oh, man. Awesome. Another phenomenal episode of the Livestream of Consciousness, talking to like-minded people who love to share their energy, and they're part of the puzzle because they know that I'm channeling as I'm talking here. They know that it's love, and they know that they're contributing love. So when you know that you're contributing love into the collective, it feels good. And I guess that's something that you learn from experience as you grow older, the experiences that feel good and the ones that don't feel so good, and then you can intentionally act from the ones that feel good. So that's my show for tonight. I think on Tuesday we're still going with, let me take a look at my calendar. I have Jenna, who is from the Soul Care Conference. Jenna Bradshaw is going to be on holding space. And then from the Sacred Spiral community, which holding space is the Sacred Spiral community, Nanci Muratella is going to be my guest on the Livestream of Consciousness next week. So I'm super excited. It's going to be another great week of fun. I will see you there. My screen is going crazy right now. Where is my screen? Okay, here it is. All right, now I can run my outro. Thanks for being here, guys. Peace.
This is the theme song for the live stream of consciousness. You gotta ask yourself whether reality is a dream or you are dream reality. We're all a part of the answer to the meaning of it all. Come in and join us